Welcome back to Point Shaver. We're going to be talking today about Moicano versus Duncan, the fight card. It's not really a great fight card, name-wise, but hopefully, crossing our fingers, we have some bangers on this one. And just to jump right into it, we're going to talk about the first fight, Kai Kamaka versus Dakota Hope. I watched a little bit of tape on Dakota Hope. He's not from the UFC. Looks like he wrestles a lot. He's got heavy hands, but I wasn't really too impressed. The level of competition he's fought. Kai Kamaka has fought in the UFC. He's fought in, PFL as well. So I just trust the experience. His striking is very good too. The boxing of Kamaka is just, up there with some of the best boxers, I would say, in the division. He's very good, but everywhere else he struggles. So it's a weird matchup because Hope could grapple him and take him to the ground, but I think Hope is really good at being hit, and he's there to be hit. I think the experience of Kamaka in coming back to the UFC, I think it'll be a little too much for Hope. This is a big step up in competition for him. So I'm going to go with Kamaka to get it done. I'm going to say second round TKO. I think the first round will be a lot of grappling. Kamaka defends a lot of it. In the second round, I think he just buries him. So I think he hits him to the body, hits him up top, rocks him. TKO finish, ref stops in. So I will take Kamaka for a second round TKO. And the next fight on the card, we have Dione Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. Melissa Gatto is pretty well-rounded. She can wrestle. She can strike. She's got really good forward pressure. She's a volume fighter. She's fought Tracy Cortez. So she's fought some good names in the UFC. And Barbosa is a really talented grappler. She's explosive early. She tries to set the tone and bully her way into getting into position she wants. So she'll throw some flying knees or she'll throw big overhands to lead into the grappling. I think I'm going to go with Melissa Gatto on this one. I think she's just a little too well-rounded. And I think the first round, obviously, I think Barbosa has a huge advantage. But in the second and third, I do think the pressure and the pace that Gatto's going to be able to put on and the output, I think we'll be able to edge her this fight. So I'm going to go with Melissa Gatto to get it done. This fight probably goes to decision. 29-28 for Melissa Gatto. Could be a split decision here because the second round could be close. Maybe Gatto steals it at the end. But yeah, I'm going to go with Gatto. I think the striking and the pace that she's going to be able to put on will be just a little too much for Barbosa if she's unable to get a submission or consistently land takedowns and get top control. So I'm going to go with Gatto by decision. In the next fight, we have Azamat Bikoev versus Tresean Gore. Been a little back and forth on this one. Bikoev, the last time I saw him fight, he fought Usuri, who's been on a tear as of recent. Just the last fight card. He pummeled, who was it, Abdul Malik. And it was a very impressive performance. It's not really a bad guy to lose to. Bikoev's just a little undersized. Same with Tresean Gore. A little undersized for the division. But he's got heavy power, really good striking. He's got really good chin as well. Tresean Gore throws a good amount of leg kicks. He's got power too. Mostly known for his guillotine, and he's got good takedown defense. But we saw in the Rodolfo Vieira fight, if you're active against Tresean Gore, he'll let you be active. He'll block and he'll try to move away, and he won't have a lot of activity. He'll throw a leg kick here or there, or maybe a front kick. But, not a lot of activity. And he got killed with Rodolfo's jab. The jab of Rodolfo was landing on him from the very first moment of the fight. So I think with a striker like Bikoev, he's going to find him early, and he's going to put him away. So I'm going to go with Bikoev to get it done by knockout. I think he lands a big overhand or a big, straight shot down the pipe and puts him away. I got Bikoev by first round KO. And then the next fight, we have Alice Pereira versus Haley Cohen. Haley Cohen has fought in the UFC multiple times. She's tough. She pushes a pace. She can, grapple a little bit. Her striking is more volume-based. But the record's not pretty. She's like 7-4. And Pereira, she made her debut, and she was looking pretty good early on, and then she tired and gassed. And she even started wrestling in the third round in her last fight, and she ended up losing. But yeah, I think Pereira's striking's just better. I think she'll land the more significant strikes. I think maybe Cohen will do a lot of pushing forward and trying to grapple and, land some volume strikes. But I think the damaging shots will come from Pereira. She's much bigger than Cohen as well. And I see this fight probably going to decision as well. I'm going to go with Pereira to get it done. 29-28, 30-27. She's just better on the feet. I think that's where the fight stays. So I'm going to go with Pereira to get it done by decision. And in the next fight, we have Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nickel. Nickel is known for his wrestling. He's 0-2 in the UFC. He's got finished in his first fight. I think he got submitted. And then he lost by decision recently. He went from like 20, 25 takedowns. He was pretty unsuccessful in all of them. Costa's fought in the UFC for a while. He's got a win over Kevin Borjas, who's, that's not a bad win. It's a solid win. I think the strength of schedule for Costa has just been higher. He's more dangerous than Stuart Nickel. Stuart Nickel has one way to win, and excuse me, and that's just on the ground. I think Costa can win on the ground because he's got good jiu-jitsu, and he's obviously very dangerous on the feet. For those reasons, I think Costa has more ways to win. He can do the more damaging shots. He can land more significant than Nickel can. Nickel's only chance is to hold top control for the most part. So for those reasons, I'm going to go with Costa to get it done. I see him winning this fight probably by decision as well. I can see him winning every single round. Nickel might be able to land an early takedown. I think Costa might be able to steal a round for damage, and then overall it'll just add up to where the second and third round he'll take the lead and keep it. So I'm going to go with Costa to get it done. 29-28, 30-27 decision. And then the next fight we have Guilherme Pat versus Thomas Peterson. I saw Pat's first fight in the UFC, and I was pretty impressed with him. I thought his striking was very good, durable, tough. He can gas a little bit, but I like the striking of Pat, and I think it's much better than Peterson's. I'm not too sure why Peterson's such a huge favorite. The wrestling of Peterson is obviously going to be a telltale. I think Pat's going to be just not as good at takedown defense, and he's not going to be as well rounded as Peterson is. But I think he's really big for the division. I mean, he's 265. He's like 6'6", really long reach. Peterson, he has one way to win, and it is getting that takedown. So I do think Pat will be able to piece him up on the feet. I think he's going to be too much of an athlete for him. I think he'll be able to defend the takedowns. He might be able to be strong enough to defend those, even if he doesn't have the best takedown defense skill-wise. So I'm going to go with Pat to get it done. I think he puts Peterson out, and Peterson probably gets cut from the UFC, but unfortunately. But I will take Pat here. I think he gets it done by second round KO. I think he hurts him late in the first, finishes him in the second, and Pat gets another W. And then the next fight we have Jose Delano versus Robert Ruschala. It's probably going to be a stand-up fight for the most part. Ruschala could mix in some takedowns. Delano's very dangerous on the feet. So is Ruschala as well. Ruschala could do pretty much everything the same as Delano, maybe not as well, but he throws a good amount of kicks, spinning attacks. He could be dangerous on the feet. Delano's going to be a little bit more technical savvy. He's going to have a little bit more knockout power. I think Ruschala going to the distance with William Gomis and, it being a close decision. Some people even thought Ruschala won. I think that's really impressive. Delano did have a really good performance on the Dana White Contender Series. But I think just for experience-wise and already fighting in the UFC and fighting a higher-level guy, I do think Ruschala does have an advantage here. I think he can mix in the grappling. I think he can strike with them. He might not be able to win the striking battles, but if it stays on the feet, I think he could be complimentary and above par when it comes to that. So I do think Delano has less ways to win, and I think Ruschala has more ways to win. For those reasons, I'll pick Ruschala. I think he gets it done. Another decision, 29-28, maybe a split decision. But yeah, I'm going to lean Ruschala just based off the experience and the more well-roundedness that he has over Delano. And then in the next fight, we have Tommy McMillan versus Manolo Zacchini. I've not been impressed with Zacchini since he's entered the UFC. His striking defense is pretty poor. He got head kick knocked out by Morgan Sharir. McMillan, the Dana White Contender Series, I saw in the third round, he was willing to push really hard. He's a good striker. He's got good cardio. He's able to finish fights. I just like McMillan. I think he's better. The striking is going to be better. He's going to land with straight shots. I saw against Sharir that the jab was landing early, the straights were landing, straight shots were landing, just nonstop, often throughout the entire fight. I think McMillan will have the same success. I think McMillan will be able to get a finish here. I'll say second round TKO. I think after the first round, he'll land a lot, find the range a little bit more, and then I think he's going to be able to put him away. I'm just not impressed with Zucchini. He's a solid striker offensively, but defensively he's not. So I'm going to go with McMillan to get it done by second round TKO. And then the next fight, we have Ethan Ewing versus Rafael Estevam. Feel a little bad for Ewing here. I mean, he's fought back-to-back. I mean, undefeated fighters. He fought Malcolm Wellmaker. Now he's fighting Rafael Estevam. It seems like UFC doesn't really want him to succeed, giving him some really tough fights. But I think he has some good advantages in this fight on the feet for sure. Estevam, obviously, is known for his good wrestling, his good top control. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He gets to the back, and he holds you there for an entire round. He can sit in half guard, and he can just hold you down and pitter-papper shots, and he's able to do just enough to where the ref doesn't stand him up, stays busy. He's undefeated for that reason. I mean, he's really good with the grappling and staying top control and good ground and pound and great just back takes. Ethan Ewing just seems really well-rounded. From what I've been able to see from him, the striking has been really good. The grappling defense has been solid. He's just a solid, well-rounded fighter. I do think Estevam will be able to land takedowns, and I think he will be able to control Ewing on the ground. Ewing has a good cardio. Ewing's pretty durable and tough, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's able to, get back up to the feet and maybe tire out Estevam, but I think Estevam early on is just going to be too much for him. I think the first two rounds clearly will probably go to Estevam. When in the grappling, I think he'll be able to get a takedown, hold him down for most of the round, steal those rounds, and then maybe in the third he'll tire out, and Ewing will be able to get that one. But I just don't see a way that Ewing's going to be able to defend the nonstop takedown attempts from Estevam. I think he'll be able to stay busy for at least the first 10 minutes just attempting takedowns. So I'm going to go with Rafael Estevam to get it done by decision, 29-28. Could be a split. Second round could be close. Third round obviously goes to Ewing type of thing, but I'm going to go with Estevam to get it done by decision. And then the next fight, we have Abdul Rahman Yakhyayev versus Bredson Ribeiro. Usually you feed Ribeiro to a guy that you want to help bring up in the light heavyweight division or heavyweight division. Yakhyayev is very dangerous. If you want to get a guy that's gets a couple wins on his record and gets a knockout win, I think you pair him up with Ribeiro. Yakhyayev is very dangerous, very strong, very powerful, very technically savvy as well. He's got very good high kicks, good overhands, good striking all around. I mean, he won his debut, I think, by dropping, I forget who it was, Cachoeira, I forget his name, but he got a first-round finish by dropping him, getting the back, putting in the choke. Yakhyayev could do it all. He's very dangerous. Ribeiro's dangerous too. He can land a knockout shot. He just never does. He's been getting beat up most of his career. So I'm gonna go with Yakhyayev to get it done. First round KO. I think Yakhyayev will be a little too fast, a little too explosive, and I think he's gonna be able to get a finish. So first round KO for Yakhyayev. And then the next fight, we have Virna Jandiroba versus Tabitha Ricci. Jandiroba just fought for a title recently against Mackenzie Dern. Pretty close fight. I think most people had it for Dern. There were some people out there that thought Jandiroba won. But Tabitha Ricci's no slouch either. She's very good. She just won against Amanda Hebos. I think she TKO'd her. I think she knocked her out, finished her. So Tabitha Ricci has good striking. Tabitha Ricci has good grappling as well. She good takedowns. But against Jandiroba, she probably will not want to get into that world with her. I think Jandiroba is just going to be a little too much for her in the grappling. I think the fight will eventually get to the ground, and that's where Jandiroba just shines and is able to just be too offensive with her grappling, and I don't know if Richie will have the defense for it. I think Jandiroba will be able to get top control and hold it, and I don't know if she'll finish Richie by any means, but I do think she'll get a couple takedowns every single round and be able to get the fight to the ground. She's not terrible on the feet either. You know, she lands good leg kicks. She has a good jab, good straight shots that she's able to land. Richie's a little bit better on the feet, but I do think Jandiroba is just going to be a little too much, and she's going to be able to get the decision victory here. I got it 29-28, 30-27. Virna Jandiroba gets it done again by decision. And in the main event, we have Renato Moicano versus Chris Duncan. This is a really tough fight, really close. I mean, obviously, Moicano's on a 2-fight skid. He fought Islam on like 1 day's notice. And then he just lost to Beneil Dariush. Not really a great look for him. Dariush has beaten a lot of guys, but as of recent, Dariush has been getting smoked recently. But, you know, also Moicano has a big victory, TKO, where he's elbowing and just dominating Benoit Saint-Denis. So it's such a tough decision here. Chris Duncan has only lost once in the UFC. He got submitted by Manuel Torres. Ever since then, I mean, he just came off of a win against Terrence McKinney in December. So, man, it's tough. Chris Duncan could do everything. So can Moicano. Moicano is more known for the grappling and getting you to the ground and looking for submissions or ground and pound. Not really too much of a great offensive striker. I think Chris Duncan will be a little bit better on the feet. It's just Moicano, on a couple of days' notice, fought Dos Anjos for 5 rounds. So that makes me question, you know, he's obviously got more experience. He's fought, you know, in more spotlight. He fought on UFC 300, beat Jalen Turner. He's fought more in the spotlight than Chris Duncan has. He's gone 5 rounds. It's a tough decision. I mean, I like Chris Duncan a lot. I think he's very well-rounded, and his only loss being to Manuel Torres is, you know, no big deal, obviously. He's very good. He just beat Terrence McKinney very easily in the first round. A lot of guys are unable to beat Terrence McKinney and get finished in the first round by him. So, yeah, man, it's a tough fight. I think the experience of Moicano going 5 rounds will be able to help him. Although against Dariush, it did look like he was tiring after the first round, because he knocked down Dariush, and then second and third he looked labored and not great. So it's tough, because you got to go off what you just seen recently, and more recently Duncan was able to get a finish. Moicano, you know, lost by decision to Dariush. Not great. Dariush has been on a skid. Whew, this is tough. I'm going to go with Moicano to get it done, just because of the experience and his 5-round ability. I think for this fight, he'll come in well prepared. I think he's going to be able to establish the grappling. I think he'll be able to be solid on the feet as well. But, I mean, this is a really tough fight. Chris Duncan is very good. But I'm going to go with Moicano to get it done. I think I'm going to say it's going to go all 5 rounds. I'm going to go decision here. I think Duncan might be able to win a second round or third round, and Moicano wins the rest of them. I think he wins at 48-47, 49-46. It should be a closely contested fight, though. So, but those are my predictions. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much.